We'll say good morning. This is Tuesday, November 3rd, and this is Roatan Weather's forecast for Hurricane Eta. We'll start with the National Hurricane Center forecast map. We'll notice that maximum sustained winds this morning are 145 miles an hour. That's 5 miles per hour less than we had last evening. Movement west-southwest at 4 miles per hour, so it's been slowly drifting south on these poor people on the Nicaraguan coast. This is its position this morning, about 30 miles off, a little bit southeast of Puerto Cabezas. This afternoon, supposed to move inland and be downgraded eventually by 1 a.m. tomorrow to a tropical storm, and then 1 p.m. to a tropical depression near the Honduras-Nicaragua coast, and a weak depression as it comes around the bend here. Saturday morning, still a tropical depression, and then re-strengthening to a tropical storm. But you'll notice while it's reforming, it's over us at its weaker point. So this is good for us on Saturday, that we're only dealing perhaps with a tropical depression. And by the time it strengthens again, it will be probably north of us enough that we're not getting the worst of the winds. This is the visible satellite as we see the sun come up on it. You can see a nice rotation there. You can't see an eye, so it could be a replacement or just so tiny that you can't quite see it, or it may just be part of the weakening. We could see a pretty good eye yesterday. I'm not quite seeing it as well now. We can come in a little bit and just not seeing it, but it's kind of there. Last night we were kind of in some of the lighter bands, so I only got 1/4 of an inch at my house last night after 3 inches during the day. But as you can see, some of these bands, and if we go to the infrared and see the cloud tops, some of these bands will come over us today. So we will get some rain and gusty winds. This is wind gusts, and this is for Thursday morning at 1 a.m. Actually, let me pull it back to Wednesday morning at 2 a.m. We can see the worst of our winds starting, and if we run this loop on the European model, as we go through the morning on Wednesday, this one actually predicts that we get the worst of our winds into Wednesday afternoon. And you see it actually starting to predict getting towards 50-mile-an-hour winds. This is 5 p.m. Wednesday. So tomorrow is the day to worry about high winds and power outages as the center of the storm moves towards our south, and we are on the windier northern end of it. This is rain accumulation for the next 10 days. Actually, the next 5 days, not much different. So that takes us through Saturday. This is calling for 6 inches of additional rain on top of for some of us, 3 inches we got yesterday. So a total of 9 inches from this storm would be a lot, but not the worst case scenario. Still some of these areas down in Atlantida looking at 16 inches more of rain. You've probably seen some of the flooding pictures they've already had. It'll get worse. So that is pretty bad for them down there. We think we might be getting a manageable amount of rain here, though. So this is a satellite image of the computer model, the Euro. And you notice when it comes to the rain precipitation, as it gets into the middle of the country, we actually start getting less rain, and this is in the Thursday time period. So actually, while tomorrow may be our worst day, Thursday may not be so bad. And then as we get towards Saturday, we see it reforming to our north and giving us a little rain as it exits towards Cuba. And this actually, the Euro shows it reforming in the Gulf of Mexico and moving north from there. The next model will be the GFS, the basic US model. And again, you can see a little bit of clearing when it comes to the winds on Thursday, then reforming on Saturday. And then this one shows it moving north and becoming pretty strong in the Gulf of Mexico and moving north towards Florida and Georgia. November is a little late in the season for something this strong to hit the U.S. It's pretty cold up there. I'd be surprised if that happens. This is a little bit better for us. This is an Ensemble model. Just to show you that not all models agree, I wanted to show you this one. This one actually shows it more or less falling apart as it moves inland, and not really getting a lot of gusto as it moves north of us. So that is a possibility that it weakens more than many of the models suggest it will. And here's one more, the Canadian model. Again, it wants to show a storm moving into the U.S., but we can see here a storm that reforms over us and gives us a little bit of wind on Saturday. Now here's the ensemble of tracks, and again we see storms going right over us in most of the models, so this is pretty much the consensus that we will have something to deal with on Saturday morning. But for today, be weather aware of these bands that are going to come across. It'll give us inches of rain at a time, and winds today probably in the 30-mile-an-hour range, but watch out for the possibility of 50-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. Be safe and have a good day.